Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Antoine. This video will be the first video as a tutorial for my application construction companion, and there are also a lot of updates about it. And I've included a very cute bonus clip that means a lot to me in the end of this video. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe. So I've decided to make a very realistic exercise, not just naming it task 1, task 2 and 3, but with real activity names, with real relationships extracted from a real life application, and zooming in from the surveying until pouring concrete footings. And now, while entering the required values, I will state what's new with Construction Companion. The biggest news now is that you can pre-order Construction Companion as a computer software and have as many activities to fit your work breakdown structure. In my last update, I've added time control in order to add the control you have over the project using Construction Companion. First, I've had the cost control only, now I have both, so you can see if you're ahead, behind or on schedule in addition to the over, under or on budget. Also, the cumulative cost curve is added, and actually the three curves, the actual cost of work performed, the budgeted cost of work performed, and the budgeted cost of work scheduled. In addition to adding the gantt chart, also known as bar chart. Pay attention in here for the unit conversion. I'm using time in month, and there are values entered in weeks or days in the table, so I'm converting them. Also, it's very important to note that from a project management standpoint, you should introduce something called work week. Having a work week is very important because it affects parameters directly related to your project budget and schedule. And those parameters are labor hours and material delivery date and many others. So I would go over them in the next videos. Take note here that the cost per month and the total cost are of course the budgeted costs in here. And now the field report that of course has the percentage of the actual work complete and the actual costs. And never forget to include of when this field report was done. Now adding the budgeted at completion cost of the project, that is the total of the budgeted costs, and the original duration that is related to the duration and the relationships between the activities. There are three kinds of relationships: finish to start, start to start, and finish to finish. In the finish to start, the previous activity have to be finished in order for the next one to be started. In the start to start, they start together, and in the finish to finish, they finish together. But of course, sometimes there are some lag or float between them. A good example is when you are waiting for concrete to cure in order to go over the next activity. So in this application, there's a limit of 3 relationships per activity. But of course, in real life and in a lot of construction projects, you may need more than 3. So for those who wish to pre-order it from me, I can add as much relationships as you want per activity. And just for right now, before adding critical path method, we will use one relationship per activity.
And until then, everything could be used normally. Now, as illustrated, you can see that just with one click, all the required values for the earned value management are here. And also the two figures needed, the bar chart and the S-curve. You can scroll in them, you can zoom in and zoom out. Here in the bar chart, this big vertical line is where the field report was taken. And you could see where each activity starts or ends and its relationship with the other one, how they interact. Now you can make a graphical interpretation of your cost control or your schedule control using the S-curve. You could do the difference between the actual cost and the budgeted cost of work performed and see how you did on cost, or do the difference between budgeted cost of work performed and scheduled and see how you did on schedule. Because a lot of stuff can go wrong in a construction project, it can be hard for the project manager to know how he or she could be better for future projects or even to troubleshoot problems in a current project. The S-curve brings you most of what you need in control versus time, so you could troubleshoot easily and precise which activity have caused this, what is the issue, how it could be solved for this project, and how it could be prevented for future projects, along many other benefits for the cumulative cost curve.
Now, what can you expect from the next update? Of course, as soon as possible, I will add the critical path method and I will have a better graphical user interface, especially for the Gantt chart and for the rest of the software. And in addition to adding details for the bill of quantities, as you will know on the page of the bit sheets, there are a lot of bill of quantities that I will add much more details to them. Civil engineer, I'm sharing this video with my notification.
شو عامل توتي شفت؟
I've spent years helping people through their problems in construction, like their schedule, budget, water leakage, or most importantly, structural problems. It always felt great and gave me that rush that I can
توتي اوكي